Hey everyone, Reese here, and I'm really busy at the minute, so I don't have time for a big high production value video with your boy and fancy editing and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to show you some of my favourite things that I have in my room here that you might not be aware of. So, let's go. So I think we'll start with my almost complete Atari Jaguar boxed game collection. I've got 46 of the 50 commercial cartridge releases. I've also got a couple of the CD releases, although I don't own the Jag CD console. And of course I've got the console and the Jaguar Game Drive flash drive, a couple of the Reproduction Pro controllers, and all of that on the hardware side as well. I've also got the Atari 2800, which is the Japanese version of the Atari 2600, and I've got 4 of the games for that as well, and they're incredibly rare and quite hard to get hold of, so really pleased that I managed to find some of those on the old Japanese auction sites. Speaking of ill-advised purchases on the Japanese auction sites, I've also got this quite large collection of Famicom stuff. I went a bit mental for the Nintendo Famicom a few years back, and I've got the robot, which was sold as a ROB here in the West, although it's just called the Family Computer Robot in Japan, and I've got the light gun as well, which unlike the Zapper that we got in the Western world, is modelled after a real revolver, and there's a whole story about trying to get that exported from Japan, basically based on their imitation firearm laws and hoops I had to jump through to get my hands on that. So yeah, I was very lucky to get my hands on that one. Here in this rather sad and neglected corner, I've got the Acorn Archimedes A305, which was the very first Acorn Archimedes with the ARM processor, and that's got some really cool upgrades and stuff in it as well. And I've also got the BBC Micro, complete with the Cub monitor, just like we used to use at school back in the day. So this is pretty cool. This is the Atari 260 ST. Now you might be familiar with the 520 and the 1040 ST models. Well, this one doesn't have 256k of RAM as you might expect. It was a very early release that was basically only sold in Eastern Europe for a very brief time, and the story goes that Atari didn't have the operating system ROMs ready, so they shipped the operating system on floppy disk, which ended up taking up half the RAM, so they sold it as a 260 ST to obviously indicate that only half the RAM was available. Cool story behind this machine, and quite a rare one as well. And finally up here I've got my OG Xbox games and my PC big box games. I've got all of the original PAL launch lineup for the OG Xbox and all of the games that were released within the first year, and of course all of my originals from back in the day and a few classics that any Xbox collection needs. I've got lots of big box PC games. These are basically games that I played back in the 90s when I was really into PC gaming in a big way, the golden era of PC gaming. And behind here I've got my solar setup, because as you may or may not know, everything that I run here in this room, apart from this main room light up here, is powered by my DIY solar setup. So yeah, pretty cool. But that's all I've got for you now, so thank you very much for watching, and on to the next one.